So a lot has happened in the past 5 months or so. Well, in terms of development, not much has really happened. Mostly, that's a me issue. I had lots of ideas while starting this project, but I realized that I'm not that good of a developer yet, so I had to keep it simple in the meantime. Well, that was the initial thought until I decided to implement a certain mechanic that had me stressed to a core. Now, I know what you're thinking. What could that be? Well, let me explain. Before implementing a totally new feature, I had to improve little bits of the game, right? I first made tiny improvements to the map by adding a spaceship and pathways so that it does not feel empty. Along with that, I made, well, a chest. Now, with a chest, I wanted the player to be able to hold the chest top and drag it away from the chest body, revealing a collectible. The idea was simple, very simple in fact. In my head, that is. Actually doing the thing took me on literally a journey just to get exactly what I wanted. And I didn't even get exactly what I wanted, by the way. The basic idea worked, in honesty. I used the rig builder in Unity to achieve the hand grab mechanic, and in the script, I basically parented the chest top to the player game object during the grabbing process, which was easy enough. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm not good at explaining technical things, so. That, however, came with a lot of glitches. For starters, when I try to grab the object while it's on the floor, like as in I've grabbed it, moved it, and it's on the floor, and I wanna grab it again for some reason, it would just disappear.
wait, wait a minute. It was right here. It was okay.
A wise old man once said, ignorance is bliss. So I don't know which old man said that. So I decided to ignore all the errors, ignore all the glitches, and continue on with development. I proceeded on to the collectible. The way that this works is that I added a distance-based mechanism that checks the distance between the base object and the chest top. Sounds confusing? Well, not at all. When the distance is close enough, the assumption is that the player has not moved the chest top away from the chest base. But when the distance is far enough, the assumption is that the chest top has been moved away from the base, therefore triggering the collectible. With a collectible object, it was simply a collision detection script that destroys the game object when in contact with a player and increments a value each time that's done. So basically like counting how many collectibles you've collected. The base system worked, yes, but the whole thing was still janky and glitchy. But I wanted to get everything working before fixing anything else. Like, I had an idea of making the chest top feel heavy. So what's one way of making something feel heavy? Do movement speed. If I reduced the movement speed while holding the chest top, it will add to the feel of struggle, hence portraying heaviness.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. Smart, right? And I also wanted to fix the jumping while holding the object. Like, who jumps while carrying something heavy? Not this guy, who still has no name, by the way. I should probably get serious with development and give this guy at least a name. The way I went about doing this is that I added a spherical collider check on the player that checks whether they're colliding with a certain game object that has a specified tag, like chest top, and then change the values of the character movement script that way. But surprise, surprise, it didn't work. Well, it worked, but it didn't work. I don't know what I mean by that, but who was I kidding? Obviously, it wasn't going to be that easy. I realized the speed and jumping values could not be changed from another script. I tried everything, unprivating the private. Functions. I mean, the private functions. I mean, like turning them into. Okay. So what I ended up doing was, bear with me, this is a bit complex for my liking. But in this iteration, in the character movement script is where I added the collider checker. This collider checker basically checks if it's colliding with a game object, chest top. If it is, it assigns the script for the opening of the chest to an empty slot predefined in the character movement script. This then checks the grab function in the opening of the chest script. And along with that, I defined two actions. When chest top is grabbed, I change the speed and jump values. When released, I set them back. The reason I did not just want to assign the opening of the chest script in the inspector was that there was going to be a lot of chests in the scene. It's stupid to assign every single one of those chests in script. It could have been too long, honestly. But with this, it just checks for a specific object named chest and assigns the specified code to an unassigned slot in the inspector when it's colliding, and when not, unassigns it. And yeah, I know there's probably an easier way to do that, but I like it when my code reaches like 500 lines. It makes me feel like a genius or some sort. So whatever. Now that I did that, there was one thing I forgot to put into account: the hand grab inverse schematic, or IK. This was specified to 2 points on the chess top, meaning more chess will require more points, hence more IK, if that's even a thing. Don't stress, I found a solution to that too. Just do the IK in code. How hard can it be? Very hard. It was an entire 2 weeks of learning IK in code. Could have taken less time, but I'm way too lazy when it comes to learning. So the way the new grab system works is that you have 2 points on the chess top and 2 empty transform objects in the code. And when in range, in spherical range rather, 2 empty targets are assigned through specific tags. If you need detailed explanations of what I'm talking about, let me know, because I don't intend on these videos being tutorial of sorts. So yeah. I cannot say this enough, but honestly, I could have just done better research and found a better way to do all this, but it was more fun stressing myself with code. The amount of joy I get after each iteration worked, it was worth all the pain, honestly. Now, for most of the developers out there, I know what you're thinking. Since I'm using range to grab the object, can the player just grab the object from the back and then everything I did to this point gets messed up? Yes, I thought about that, and I also found a solution to that.
Let me just add these here and then rotate it and then yeah, done.
At this point, I was tired because I had been working on this for a month plus. Now all I had to do was channel my inner Picasso with the texture work on the chest because they looked blur. I also added a bit of shader work on the ship to make it look, well, crashed, and then decided to face my fears. I tried to do the grass thing again. We all know how that went last time, but I had a new plan. Which was tree stumps. Yeah, I have mixed feelings about this one, but whatever, it stays until someone tells me it looks ugly, which won't happen because come on, Picasso, am I right? To every solution arises a problem. Andromeda Ghost 2024. And with this, the problem rose of collision. I had a decision to make. It's either I start fixing that or I start working on this video. Since you're seeing this video, guess which one I chose? I've also gotten this other friend of mine to actually do the modeling and environment work for the game. So hopefully you see a drastic change. Not too drastic, but then you see a bigger change in the next video, unlike what I've been doing so far. Oh, and I also spent time drawing this character to add some pizzazz to the video. Hopefully you'll like it because it's making the video editing process unnecessarily longer, but anything for content, am I right? And I'm also gonna do a separate video which explains what the game is about basically, because I feel like these videos have not been giving context to what the whole thing is about, like the story, the lore, and stuff. But yes, I'll get to that next video, hopefully.